of Jeremiah, the second chapter, beginning with the 36th verse. Why do you go about so much changing your ways? You will be disappointed by Egypt as you were by Assyria. You will also leave that place with your hands on your head, for the Lord has rejected those you trust. You will not be helped by them. Now, believe it or not, this is a scripture about elections, about picking a side. In Jeremiah's day, the kingdom of Judah was a small little kingdom stuck right between the two superpowers of the ancient Mediterranean world. To the north, they had Assyria, and to the south, they had Egypt. And Judah survived by playing Egypt and Assyria off each other. And if Egypt started to get a little too interested in taking land away from Judah, Israel would cozy up to Assyria. They'd send gifts to the king of Assyria. Hey, you want to protect us from Egypt? You know, don't you like having a buffer state between you and Egypt? So Egypt's on our border and not yours. And then when Assyria would start looking at the northern areas of Judah and thinking, wouldn't it be nice if we conquered those? Judah would turn to Egypt and say, hey, you think you can help us out against Assyria? You know, don't you like having us here between you and Assyria so that they're not on your border? That was the foreign policy of Judah, was how do I keep playing these two sides against each other so hopefully they both leave us alone. And there were factions in the court that were always arguing for one side or the other. Well, God sent Jeremiah a message. And he basically said, stop this. You're looking to Egypt for your salvation from Assyria. You're looking to Assyria for your salvation from Egypt. And neither one of you is going to give you what you're looking for. And of course, it's a call to turn to God for salvation. Now, Tuesday is election day. And if you've been listening to television, this is the most important election of our lives, which I remember hearing 4 years ago, and 8 years ago, and 12 years ago. I will say this, though. I have friends who since high school have always told me, it doesn't matter who you vote for, both parties are the same. That is not true this time. I don't care which party you're leaning towards, they are not the same this time around. I've had elections where I've really had to struggle to decide because both candidates were pretty similar. I don't feel that this time. There's a clear difference between the candidates. Now, we may not like either option, but we still can't say they're the same. They're different. They have different plans for what they would do if they become president. They have different visions of what America is and of what America needs to do to get better. So we have a real choice to make. Again, I'm not going to tell you which choice to make, but it is a real choice. Now, I was once visiting a friend's church. It was an evening service. And it was late October of an election year. And at least he didn't say this from the pulpit, but I heard the pastor saying, anyone who votes for a Democrat is guilty of murder. And that was because of his views on abortion. Wasn't just if you were a Democrat you were guilty of murder, but if you voted for a Democrat you were guilty of murder. And I kept my mouth shut, but it was very hard, and I've got scars on my tongue to prove it. There are reasons that a Christian might vote for a Republican. And there are reasons that a Christian might vote for a Democrat. Neither party platform aligns perfectly with what it means to be a Christian. I know several Christians who are extremely concerned about abortion. And they voted Republican every year since Roe v. Wade was first passed. That's their right. And they're doing it because they see it as aligning with their beliefs as a Christian. But I have also known many Christians who believe that the parts of the Democratic platform over the years that relate to issues of social justice find that the Democratic platform is often more closely aligned to their Christian beliefs on how we should be helping people. Again, that is their right. They can vote for whichever party they choose and still be a Christian. And they can vote for whichever party they choose because of their Christian beliefs. I've gotten in arguments with some of my colleagues on both sides. Oh, how could a Christian vote for this person? And give a list of very good reasons why a Christian would have problems with some of the things that candidate stands for. Again, on both sides. Now, one of the reasons I don't speak about who to vote for is because of what I just said. There are legitimate reasons for Christians to accept or reject parts of both party platforms. There's not a problem with a Christian voting Democrat or a problem with a Christian voting Republican. And related to that is, I want to be able to talk to people about more important things than who you're voting for. And it's the biggest problem with the church being involved in politics. I have so many non-Christian friends who will not step foot into a church because the church makes political endorsements for a party they disagree with. And I don't want politics to prevent people from coming to know Christ. So I don't preach on it. Because it's not the most important issue. And this is back to what Jeremiah is saying. You're looking to Egypt or Assyria to be your salvation. You're looking to Republicans or Democrats to be the salvation of your country. You're going to be disappointed. Doesn't matter which side you vote for, and it doesn't matter which side wins. You're going to be disappointed if you're looking to the government to save us. Ronald Reagan used to say the 10 scariest words in the world were, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help you." There was a reason our founding fathers believed that church and state should be separate. It's bad for the church and it's bad for the state. You have a duty to vote as an American. It's not just a right and a privilege, it's a duty. Pray about who you're going to vote for. But do not put too much hope. Do not put too much faith in the outcome of this election. And also, do not put too much fear in the outcome of this election. God is our source of salvation. Christ is our head, no matter how the election turns out. You will not be rejected. You will not be banished from God's kingdom because of who you vote for. You have a choice to make. It's a clear choice between the two. No one can look at our candidates and say they're in any way the same. Pray between now and Tuesday. Ask God to guide you in your choice if you have not made up your mind yet. But remember, as important as this election may be, it's in God's hands. And God is the only source of our salvation.